Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to arguably my most confusing video, at least on my end. See, the reason why I say that is because this video started out as one thing, became another, and then became a third thing. And this is, obviously, you guys see the end result here, but to me, this was a really confusing ride. I will explain it along the way, but for now, let us begin. And the game starts out pretty simple, as you all know. An idiot in a mohawk is wearing a sweatshirt. This guy with a suit is pointing a gun, shoots me. I wake up in Doc Mitchell's house, very confused, very concussed, very, very drunk. And then, for my character customization, I just randomized myself a few times until I found something that I guess worked. I really had no desire to spend 10 minutes customizing an actual character in this menu. Stats was a bit tricky, because again, I was under the assumption that this was going to be a rolling pin only playthrough, so all I knew is strength would need to be at 10, luck would also be at 10 to just make things easier with casinos and everything. I needed money. I put 6 points into endurance and agility just to make myself a little more well-rounded, 6 points into intelligence to level up faster, and no points in charisma, because who needs charisma? For my tag skills, I picked melee weapons, sneak, thought about lockpick, but chose barter. I'm gonna regret that melee weapon much later down the line, I promise you. For the traits, I didn't know what to do. I didn't think anything other than Wild Wasteland would really be interesting or actually affect me, so I just went with that one. I really was just confused here. I stepped out into a world that was so bright, it gave me only one message. I need to burn this beautiful world to the ground. And I started by doing that by going to Chet, seeing if he had a rolling pin. He didn't. I know where to find one in Novak, but Novak is a long way away. I wanted to see if Chet could maybe sell me one. He couldn't. I did a rifle training with Sunny Smiles, partially just to get XP. I wasn't going to use the rifle, but these bottle caps are not actual opponents. I left Good Springs because I didn't want to deal with it, and I really just wanted to get my hands on a weapon as soon as possible. That being said, I tried to go straight for the strip or go around, but these guys, they caught the interest of something very peculiar, something very deadly. You'll never guess what it is unless if you play the game and you know what's out here. Want to take a guess what it is? It's Deathclaws. Yeah, they mauled me to death. Very, very easily. Not just once, a few times, even whenever I tried to sneak along the railroad track. Remember, I'm still level 1. I am fragile. I haven't even leveled up yet. I did find this one very, very weird fridge. I do think it belonged in a museum though, but that's the last I can say about it. The powder gangers were actually non-hostile to me. Their explosives were, and I got exploded whenever I tried to loot some of their crates to get more things to sell. Woohoo. I couldn't kill Oliver Swanek, because at this point I was still operating under the assumption that I was going to be a rolling pin only, and I didn't have a weapon, so Oliver Swanek lived for once. I searched kitchens and every house within Novak. No, not Novak. Nipton. Wow, these towns are all so confusing. I had a slight hope that maybe there'd be a rolling pin or something in Nipton that I could steal. The only things that were in there were occasional traps that blew up my limbs and rad scorpions who also wanted to take out my limbs. This is where I came to a great decision. I decided, no rolling pin, but I found a weapon that I thought that would be adequate to make it a challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, you know it, you hate it, it's a BB gun. BB gun does terrible damage, so I thought, you know what, there can still be a damage run in here. Spoiler alert, I didn't make this a BB gun run, as you can all tell from the title. I don't know why I'm spending time on it. But still, any enemy I saw I had to run away from because I had no means of actually dealing damage to them. And run away, I became very good at it, even backwards. I was like a moonwalker. I did witness this really cool fight against some mercenaries and some legions. The legions were not hostile to me, so luckily I was able to loot everyone for everything they got and sell them to the nearby merchant. The merchants ended up winning, surprisingly, which would be a major downside for the legions, but it's only because I wasn't on their side at this moment. I finally arrived in Novak. Here is where I could have gotten the rolling pin to do the run. I highly debated it. It is right here. I can grab the rolling pin, get started on the run, and I wouldn't have even failed the challenge because I didn't damage anything with the BB gun. But no, I had a genius idea. I'm gonna beat the game with only fisting enemies. Wait, that sounds bad. I'm gonna beat the enemy with only beating them to death. This, ladies and gentlemen, was where I finally decided on a no weapons playthrough. I can only attack enemies using my glorious, glorious fists. I went back to Goodsprings to try and kill Ringo. You're seeing the footage sped up, but Ringo took a lot of hits. This is also an interesting quirk of the game. See, in melee combat, I much prefer going against enemies who are ranged, even in a confined space, because yes, the fact that, they're ranged, they can keep shooting me, they're not going to block me or stun me. I can keep attacking on them, and while they're doing damage, they're not able to stop me. Ringo, or any armed opponent with a gun, can't just bash me with the gun or block it. All he can do is sit there shooting and hope I don't kill him. And luckily, with my agility and endurance so high, I can't remember which stat affects it, my agility points actually come back fast. I said it out loud, I guess it's agility, huh? Or is it action points? Either one. I did kill Sunny Smiles in the upcoming raid, just because, she tried to train me in the art of the rifle, but she never taught me the art of fisting. I was disappointed. I decided I would become her teacher, and I would fist her. She didn't like the idea too much, but I told her she'd be fine. She ended up loving it so much that whenever I tried giving her my ultimate technique, he fell really hard. I knew she would love it. Doc Mitchell took a long time to kill just because of the fact he had a couple of stimpaks and would heal himself, but he eventually went down. At one point, he did try and fight me with only his fist, but then he picked up his laser weapon and, things just kind of spiraled out from there. But all of Goodsprings was finally dead. I got into a fight with the Freeside Bug. This is what I meant with melee combat. See, he's got a switchblade, which can do damage, and it is faster than my fists, and actually does more damage. But see, here's the thing. Whenever I'm getting into a fight with him, he can block me, I can block him. It's not as fun as whenever you find a guy with a gun, because you can just continuously pound on him. Luckily, I didn't have too much worry. It's Freeside. People jump in to save you every possible turn, and someone did do that eventually for this guy. I just wanted to give you a taste. I gambled quite a bit at the strip just to make some more money, and I also wanted ways to get stronger. This would do it. Boone executed a girl. I didn't know the girl. Boone wanted to kill someone I would be willing to satisfy his needs. And frankly, it worked for both of us. I also went back to Prim and fought the convicts on the inside. These guys took a while because there were a lot of them, a few melees, but really just the fact that yes, my fists do consistent damage, that consistent is not exactly a high number, as you will see later on. I went on the strip again. You think I'm here for the hooker? No, I'm here for this NCR trooper who's busting down these moves. And they say the troopers can't be strippers either. They're multitaskers. Benny sent a few guards to kill me whenever I told him I would come back. I think Benny feared my ultimate fisting technique. He was right to do so. These 4 bodyguards all fell to my glorious hands. This fight wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it would be. I met Caesar, and he told me, hey, can you do this thing? Blow up this bunker, and then I'll let you kill Benny. I decided at that point I would work for Caesar, because he let me kill, and I wanted to kill him. I did kill Mr. House before this just because I wanted House to die, knowing his army would die after. But here's the thing, I punched him quite a few times actually. I thought the first punch would have killed him, but no. It took far too many punches to kill him for my liking, but he did eventually die. See, I told you, it just took me a hot second. I promise you I won't lie to you if I can avoid it. Now, back in the bunker, I tried to take down the generators with only my fists. It doesn't work. So unfortunately, I couldn't destroy them with only my fists. You all know what that means. I had to pull out a gun. But contrary to me, these guns won't fight back. No, these generators won't fight back, so it doesn't count against me, and this would be the least of the problems that we have. I got stuck in an infinite loading glitch. This would be one of many times where I would be sitting here for 10 minutes trying to get the game to work for me. The game did not, in fact, work for me. It took several hours, and then eventually I got looped into the game only because I loaded to a different save, and then reloaded in my last autosave, which thankfully I didn't lose any progress. Time to celebrate and time to get back into this shindig. This shindig starts out with Benny. I decided that, you know what, Benny didn't want to accept my fisting technique. You know what, I'll crucify him for that. I thought I'd be able to see him and mock him a little bit. Yeah, I completely forgot about this, and I just sent him to be crucified for my own amusement. But you know what, it's okay, because I'm a psychopath. I did fight some slaves in the arena. An interesting thing is, when you go into the arena, the game gives you and auto-equips a machete for you, but you can unequip the machete and fight them with your fists, which is what I did. A couple of rounds in here, things were going pretty well. I was actually able to earn a little bit more XP and also a little bit more practice. Not that I needed any practice in this game. I accidentally encountered the Brotherhood early while doing, I think, a quest or something. I wasn't even supposed to be here yet, but I came here. I don't remember why I'm here at this point in the script. Probably later, though. Okay, I remember now. Aside from a few seconds ago when I just told you I don't know why I was there because someone here can give me an upgrade for EDE, meaning his armor and his weapons. These would be essential for later in the run. On track, I decided to fight George before going in to meet the boomers. See, George is a coward. He won't actually fight me, which frankly sucks. So I used bats to try and hit him. I was doing damage, but not nearly enough, so I chased him some more. Then I got curious. See, George was going towards the boomer area. I wanted to see if I hit him enough, will he go into the boomer's territory and get shot? I think that there was a possibility, but I also didn't know if it was just programmed to target me. So I waited for a second. Bombs didn't go off, so then I blew in. But that's whenever disaster occurred. Not for me, disaster for George. The first bomb hit, and then the second one hit, and then the third killed George. But here's the thing. After George was killed, they didn't shoot me. I wasn't shot at. This was incredible. Like, holy cow. I didn't realize this, but yeah, they were not going to fire on me anymore, so I took a leisure walk through the area. It was very enjoyable this time of year. I got this glorious ankle of Mother Pearl thanks to EDE. I knew there was a reason I brought him along. This and probably a couple others. But Mother Pearl asked me to try and make good with her people. I wanted them because, well, I need people with the bomber, because who doesn't want a bomber in their back pocket? I took down some more mercenaries, including Caleb McCaffrey for not the Van Graffs, the Atomic Wrangler, because I needed more XP to level up and just increase my skills and everything, because I was getting later. I tried multiple times to call the bomber with only my fist, but that doesn't work. So I pulled out the detonator, hit the trigger, nothing happened. So I did what any sane person would do. I hit the trigger quite a few more times, and nothing was working. And then I realized I was actually not in the right zone. So once I got into the zone, I hit the trigger, and then the bomber came up to the surface. Only I can make things much harder for myself. Pearl agreed and gave me so much gratitude for helping her people, basically telling me that her faction was now going to be loyal to me and to me alone. I also took a piece for the howitzer, I don't know anymore. I talked to her on the inside to get an alliance with Caesar. When that didn't work, I had to talk to him. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Basically, the White Glove work. All I had to do was kill a kid, let the White Glove eat him, frame the father for killing his son. Whenever the father didn't like that, he pulled out a gun on the Securitron. Securitron killed him, and this basically secured our alliance. But I had to do all this work just to get these guys to align with Caesar. So I talked to him. He says, yes, we are all good for an alliance. I talked to her. She says, yes, we are all good for an alliance, which means I'm done here just as fast as I arrived. This took me like 10 minutes. I returned back to Caesar. Caesar was having his migraines, but then he sent me after the Brotherhood. I wanted to use my medicine checks just to make sure that he knew I could be trusted and that he should give me a lot more money. This took me a while. Problem was I was using a stealth boy, but still I could get caught multiple times. I would go away, check my inventory when I realized I didn't actually get it completed, and then have to reload a save. Like, this took me over 10 attempts just to get these 3 cards in my possession. Yeah, you guys think you have it rough, I got it rough. Eventually, I did get the code, and I activated the bunker self-destruct sequence, which was pretty good. I thought I'd escape on my first try, until I died, pretty close to the exit. Which was heartbreaking, but also kind of expected. They have a lot of weapons, I don't have a lot of armor, or any weapons that I can use. On the outside, the bunker blew up. You can't see it, but you could hear and see the screen shake. So, yeah, they're dead. I don't know what else you want me to say here. They're dead. I talked to Caesar again, and he made me his psychiatrist. Now I get to go and fix him. See, I thought about letting him die, because technically he can, but at the same time, Caesar is a lot more respected. If he says give me money or people to kill, I would. So I talked to Dr. Utsunagi, and I tried to give myself an intelligence boost. I did, but it didn't really help too much in the long run. It's just something I did. See, the medicine skill required is 75. Mine is nowhere near 75. The marked Autodoc can still do the job, and I know what I have to do to get it to work and do the job. I broke into Vault 34, I believe. Fisted a lot of feral ghouls, and I do mean a lot. These guys had a lot of health for an area that I did not really want to go to. But I was here, I was slowly gaining radiation, EDE was being a sniper, which we all love him for that, and I was looting everything that I could. Don't worry guys, I did eventually find my way around, and I found the Autodoc. There was only one thing left to do. Escape. Yeah, this was way harder than I thought because I got lost, and the ghouls kept trying to hit me. I didn't want to fight them, so I took forever to run and run, until I finally found a hallway that looked somewhat familiar, considering the fact that every single one of the hallways looks nearly identical, but I found the stairs and escaped. Oh boy, things were surely rough. Maybe there was a ghoul chasing me, maybe there wasn't. I didn't care, as long as they all died. After I cured Caesar, I sat in his throne to see if he would react, for I am now the true god. Caesar did not hate my decision, in fact he applauded me. I guess he only cared that I saved his life and not that I stole his precious throne, which is good, because I liked his throne. And then he gave me the next job, which would be a weird one. That job was to assassinate him at Hoover Dam. Everything was going great, flawless even, until EDE got into a fight with a ranger. I wasn't under threat, but I don't know what was happening. I went around looking for intel and found an NCR engineer jumpsuit. This would be perfect. It would have everything I need to assassinate President Kimbo. Except, he never came. I don't understand why. My quest marker was showing that the guy was no longer here, and I got confused. I thought he fell down the dam, until I looked at the thing and it was at the fort. I was very confused as to why, until I found out that apparently I had failed the mission. I don't know how, considering all these troopers weren't firing on me except for the two that tried to fight EDE. Was that enough to fail the mission? I really had no idea what was happening. I ended up returning to Caesar's Legion and they attacked me, which surprised me because I was like, wait a minute, these guys are my guys. And I really didn't want to do all the things with Yes Man again until I realized I was still in the NCR engineer jumpsuit. So I had to load back to a save in order to reset, change my attire so the Legion wouldn't kill me. Caesar was mad at me, but he decided to let me live and work for him because he thinks I could still be of use. I think, buddy, I could have fisted you to death and your entire guard here if given enough time. You didn't want to fuck with me. I truly think he was just secretly scared of my power, he just didn't want to admit it. But we're finally in the long run. It's time for the final battle of Hoover Dam. Start the battle, we talk to the Legate. The Legate admires me for what I have done and my brutality. And I admired him because of the fact he didn't use a gun. Like the coward sure used a blade. But a blade is better than a gun. Fisting is the best. And boy, what a battle this was. I was fisting all these troopers left and right, taking them all down. Sure, I had the backup of the NCR, or not the NCR, the Legion. And even with their high-powered snipers, the Legion were able to put up a good fight. NCR was not going to be able to handle the fact of me throwing punches left and right. I even took a battle against some power armor wielding NCRs. This one took a lot. Also, you'll notice I used stim packs. In a few seconds for you guys, and about 20-30 minutes for me, you're going to see why I really wish I never used any single stim pack and just used other healing items. Just promise. I promise you guys it's gonna make sense in just a second. This is gonna be an entire area fuck up. I ran past all the reactor rooms just because I didn't want to waste any time or any healing items on here. And I had a General Oliver to hunt and kill. Speaking of General Oliver, fuck this dude. Seriously, fuck this guy. Here's the thing, this first fight took me a while just because while I could do damage to guys, if they didn't, have someone else to shoot at, they would gang up on me and kill me easily. EDE was very useful during this fight, especially with his upgrades. It took a few attempts, but we moved on. And I mean a few attempts, because see, I could pummel these troopers to death, but if they all ganged up on me, then they would do far more damage than I could ever do to them, and EDE, being unconscious, was never a help. But in like a 2-on-1, I still had a really good chance because I was actually doing damage to them just as fast, if not faster, than they would be doing to me. This room would be the least of our troubles. This room is fucked. Upstairs, after that first fight, you get a room with 2 NCR Rangers, one with a sniper, one with a pistol. Some of you might be thinking, that doesn't sound too bad, until you get to the traps. See, while the sniper can do almost my entire health in one shot, the other guy with the pistol is running around constantly resetting traps even after you disarm them, so you get stuck in a loop of trying not to set off the traps and blow up, and then take out the NCR agents. This did not work out well. A lot. Like seriously, fuck this entire room. So I got to a point where I skipped it and then went to the next room, where you fight more NCR Rangers in power armor and General Oliver himself. The strategy here was pretty simple. Use all of my healing items except for Stimpaks whenever needed, because the Stimpaks were the only things I could consistently give to EDE in order to keep him in the game. Hit the NCR Rangers, NCR Heavy Troopers I guess, just as many times as I could, keep EDE alive, repeat the process. But even then, this took several hours because the game kept dying, killing me. But killing me wasn't even the worst part of it. Frankly, it was the crashes. A lot of crashes. I eventually got myself an autosave where I was in this corner. I wouldn't have to do anything other than just make sure EDE knew where to find me. Once EDE caught up to me, we would go up and retry the fight. But oh boy, this run sucked so badly. Because I barely had any healing supplies, my armor wasn't really in good condition, and I had no way to repair it, and there was no place to sleep where I could reset my health and my living condition. You guys know how it goes. I got into a fight, and at this point, I was taking any win I had. Whether I got one NCR trooper down or none, as long as I could make sure EDE didn't go down and I was able to consistently provide damage, I was happy, until the game started crashing. Again, and again, and again. Like, it was downright ridiculous how often this game was crashing. I never had this kind of trouble in any Fallout New Vegas room. I kept beating on though, EDE kept firing. I kept saving at practically every chance I could. Even if all I did was one bit of damage to one trooper, I still saved. Because at the point, these crashes were insane. I could not handle having to go back 5 minutes just to actually get any progress done. They were doing big damage to me. We were making progress slowly against these guys. And then it finally came down to the last guy. I was wailing on him. EDE, I guess, tried to fire the last shot, but we all know I killed him. And finally, I was done. I was free. I killed Oliver. I killed everyone else. I was so tired. But there was a small problem. The quest was telling me to kill the other NCR Rangers, the ones I left downstairs. It took me a few minutes to realize this, but oh boy, was I surely fucked because of this. But I found a mattress that I could sleep on, and then I went to the Rangers. See, the reason why this guy is a problem is I've been playing on hard or very hard difficulty. I can't remember which one. But every time I would get this guy maybe down to about 60% health or something, and this would be with me chugging chems, he would magically heal. I later found out whenever I killed him, much later as you'll hear in a few seconds, he had about 10 to 12 super stims on him, which would explain a lot, but at the time, I swear this guy healed like 20 times. And oh boy, I honestly thought he was unkillable. I thought I broke the game by leaving him earlier and then coming back to him. But I would fight. I would give him everything I had, and then more health would pop up. I was getting hopeless. Everything was hopeless. I didn't know what to do anymore. I would get on good sets of wailing on him, but then he would heal without nothing, and then again, his sniper can do a hell of a lot of damage to me. You may call me a coward for what I'm about to do next, but I don't. I did, after a few attempts, honestly, without cheating, get to actually kill him. It just took a lot out of me. Mainly, my super Stimpaks. I didn't want to use any of my regular Stimpaks because those were going to be used to heal EDE. But I was getting addicted to every chemical. EDE was getting a lot of shots in, I was getting a lot of punches in, and this guy kept going back into traps. Guys, this was tough. And this was after about 30 minutes of me fighting the guy. Like, I had over a couple of hours of footage on this fight alone with this guy. Ugh, I hated myself so goddamn much for this. but I was just chugging chem, whatever it took. I was gonna bring this guy down. It just wouldn't be this moment. It would be this moment, about 20 minutes later, as I died again. EDE got some more shots, I got some good hits in, and he finally died. Now watch as I make my greatest mistake. This save, right here, would fuck me over. Because you want to know how long it took for me to die after killing this guy? You really want to know? Because I'll happily tell you. It took about less than 10 seconds. Because I walked into a mine and exploded. This is where the fuckery happened. When I loaded back in, I actually loaded on mines. And I know what you guys are seeing and you're thinking, wait a minute, that's a sniper. That is not your fists. No. So, thanks to my bad autosave, I had to reload before I killed these guys. Here's the thing, I killed them with my fist. I was not going to spend another 6 hours doing it again because of a terrible autosave. So, I killed them with guns, tossed all of the guns in my inventory away, reset my difficulty back up so that I could actually complete the game on hard or very hard, and then finally left, optimal legged, and finally beat the game. Listen, I understand if that last little bit some of you decided to say I didn't beat the game. I'm calling it as I beat the game, considering the fact that, I actually ended up winning. I just had to reset after a bad save clip. I shouldn't be punished for that. But either way, I hope you guys really enjoyed. Make sure to let me know if you guys want a specific video in the future. I am looking through your comments, trying to come up with some fun ideas. But yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic day.